Hello, Facebook and YouTube. It is Adam. How are you doing today? So, my thought for the day in relating things to Christ, I was thinking about the last video I posted, posting number 2, if you're keeping track. Uh, I recorded that when I wasn't really fully prepared for what I was going to say, kind of rambled a bit, as one tends to do. And I was thinking after I posted it, well, it wasn't very good, it wasn't very polished, it had mistakes, I didn't maybe say what I wanted to say, or I didn't come across very well, I don't know. But I just thought maybe that's not the best recording I could have made. So I should take it down and I should redo it and make a better one, more polished, more coherent, and post that one. And that's going to be what I use. And I was thinking, if my channel is going to be about honesty and it's going to be about just off the cuff and it's going to be my thoughts as they come to me, then it needs to be full of those errors or inconsistencies and pauses where I go, I don't know what I'm saying yet because I haven't thought that thought. So my thought with this one was to say, instead of leaving or taking it down, I'm going to leave it up because that was what I said at the time and that was honest and it's kind of like a live recording. So why not just go with it? And in relating it to Christ and how we do our walk, I think some people come to Christ and they think, I need to really clean myself up first. I need to get the sin out of my life by myself. I need to improve myself. I don't need God's help to do that because he's going to look at me and go, whoa, this guy, he's not, I don't like this guy. He's a mess. Well, good news, bad news. You are a mess. I'm a mess. We're all a mess. Everybody has sinned. Everybody has fallen short of what God's plan was, from the very first Adam all the way down to whoever's being born now, named Adam. I hope there's still some boys out there getting named the same as me. But my point is, everybody has messed up. There's going to be lots of moments you don't get it right, and you don't really get the chance to go back and take that away. It's, what's done is done, basically. The good news is, though, is God doesn't take that and go, oh, he's not going to get saved. He can't do anything right ever. He's, a lost cause. Well, no, there is no such thing. The Bible teaches us that Jesus came because of those sins. If we wouldn't have had the sins and all these issues, we wouldn't need Jesus. We would have been perfect beings like Adam and Eve were in the garden before sin, and Jesus would have been pointless. Well, he's not. We need him because of all these problems, and he is ready and willing to accept you exactly as you are. That is not to say, though, that whatever you're doing that's wrong, you should keep on doing and be Christian. Now, yes, even as a Christian, I don't care how saved or pious you are still going to mess up at some point. We are going to tell a lie, we're going to lust, we're going to act out in anger, something's going to happen. We are still sinful beings, unfortunately. But Jesus is there to help us with those issues and to save us from them. That's the whole reason he came to earth, was to die on a cross so you would be saved. And if you're not a Christian, but you're interested in being one, maybe you want to do a little research first. Go to a local church, read a Bible, go online, find something. There's really no reason, if you're in a first world country, or even some third world countries, to not be able to access what God has to say in some form or another. You don't have to wait for the missionary to come to your town or the preacher to go preach. You can look it up. You can find a Bible or read it online. You can watch a webisode of something. See, there I go, making mistakes, because I'm just talking live. I also want this to be more of a casual conversation. It's not going to be a polished, scripted thing. It's not a podcast. I don't have my words written out ahead of time. I'm really just talking to my camera, sharing thoughts, and hopefully that comes across as genuine and honest, and you realize, okay, this guy, he's got some good things to say. I'd like to listen to him, but really, I don't want it to be, oh, come to my channel and learn everything from Adam because he's super smart. No, maybe this is something you just happened upon online, and then you go, I think he had a good point. I'm going to go read a Bible verse, or I'm going to go look up a church service or something, which, minor plug, hey, if you want to check out some really great services online, you can check out the church I go to of Melrose Community Church. They are on Facebook and they're on YouTube. I think pretty much every sermon we've had for the last, I don't know, 3 years is probably up there, but a lot of great content. But off of that, you shouldn't be concerned about how you're coming to Christ, because no matter who you are, you're coming to Christ with sin. But He is ready and willing to forgive you of that sin if you ask Him, and that's really what it boils down to. Being a Christian is, I don't feel, that difficult of a thing to do. I mean, it's not that it's say there's no challenges in it or that there's, easy breezy and no problems, but becoming becoming a Christian, becoming a follower of Christ, you really only need to do a couple things. The first thing I would say is, well, if you don't know God exists, you need to realize He does exist. He made me and you. He made all of everything you see around you. And I'm not sure what better proof to offer you than, the beauty of His creation here. And of course, the Bible, I will leave that up to you, what you look into. But first step is understanding God exists. The second step would be to understand sin exists. And unfortunately, we're all guilty of it. Every single person has done it. I can't stress that enough. There is no such thing as a perfect human who didn't sin, except for Jesus. That is why it works for Him to be the sacrificial lamb, for Him to die on the cross, to bleed and suffer, so you can be forgiven of your sins. If we just had some random guy get sacrificed who already was a sinful being, well, he can't do anything to forgive us or to cause us to be forgiven. It's just going to be some guy, even if he was a great prophet or pastor or whatever. It has to be somebody with no sin, and the only person that ever was Jesus. So you have to believe that there's God. You have to believe that you are a sinner, that sin is a real thing. Then understand that that sin is keeping you apart from God. God is a holy being, and we are not. The best way I can find to compare to anything is I'm going to go sci-fi route. The more you watch my channel, the more you talk to me, you're going to know I am a big nerd. And not a closeted, secret. No, I'm a big nerd, Trekkie, whole 9 yards. So, in Star Trek, and actually the real world, there is antimatter, which is basically the exact same thing matter is, but with an opposite charge. And if matter and antimatter touch, since this is charged one way, this is charged another way, they touch, boom, they can't exist together. So I would say you could kind of think of there as being a sinful world and an anti-sinful world, or a holy world and anti-holy, however you want to spin it. If you put those together, they can't exist. So a sinful being, i.e. us, cannot go into God's presence because God is holy. Well, how do you get holy? Well, you can't just go do it yourself. You have to have Christ save you. Again, with our steps, if you realize God exists, He cares about you as a sinful being, and you understand Jesus is the one who died so you can be saved. That's, pretty much just that right there. God's real, I'm a sinner, Jesus died for my sins. You're so close. And then you just have to pray to God, come save me. I am a sinful being. I am sorry for my sin. Repent of it. It's going to happen again, unfortunately. I've been a Christian for most of my whole life, and I probably actually sinned more as a Christian than I did before, considering it was so long ago. But, it happens. And that's another part, too, is you need to be honest with it. If you come to God and you're like, well, I made a couple mistakes, I lied to my parents a few times, I'm not that bad of a guy, so you probably still love me. Well, He does love you, yes, but He's not going to allow you into heaven because you're not repenting, you're not asking for forgiveness. That's not the right route to go. You simply need to tell Jesus, I am sorry. I accept your free gift of salvation. I want you to live in my heart. I will do my best to not sin anymore, but knowing that I will, I can still come back to you for this. This is kind of a rambling, I know. That's kind of what I do. I tend to go on about something until I feel I've gotten my point across. I hope that made some sense to you. If you like anything I have to say, like I say, check out other channels. That's my encouragement, is I don't want you to get stuck on what's something Adam told me, so that's great. Well, I just want to encourage you to take that next step. to go on and read something else, go to a church service, go to anything on YouTube or the internet that will help you, go read a Bible, go pick up a Christian book, anything that's the next step. I just want to spur people on, because that's what our next step really is, as told by Christ to do if we are Christians, is to inform other people about him and encourage them to go learn more about him and his ways and what he teaches. I think that's going to be all for me now. I hope this was of some help. Don't forget to share this video if you like it, as I would like to get a few more views. I'll see you next time.